Hey YouTubers, I'm going to give a review of 4 months of ownership, 2019 HD GM truck. I'd contemplated doing this before this mileage. It's 4 months old, it's got 13,500 miles on it. And I thought, well, I just want to get a better feel of actually, what things are going to look like, 4 or 5 months down the road when I've put the truck in basically every possible situation that I can, and then I will over the next 3.5, 4 years and 200,000 miles. So 2019 L5P, obviously Allison automatic, crew cab, short box, 4-wheel drive, work truck package. I had to look for this truck. Actually had to get it shipped in here from Illinois. Live in central Oklahoma. And obviously some of the changes I've made are obviously the grill guard, the steps, and the spike hay bed, if one can tell. I'm going to go over just a few minor things. I'm going to make this last 6 or 7 minutes, maybe just to help someone in their decision-making process of buying one of these trucks. I just want to give a brief, basically review, so you can make a decision, a education-based decision on whether or not you want to purchase this brand of truck. I will preface this whole thing by saying I actually purchased a truck last year, actually 1 year ago today, a 2018 model truck of the competition. I'm not going to say what brand just because I don't want to start a bunch of emotional crap. But I bought another truck of another brand and configured exactly the same way as this. I kept the truck 6 months and 16 or 17,000 miles. And I realized at that point in time, that particular truck was not going to fit my needs over the next 3 or 4 years and the mileage that I need in the conditions that I go. So I sold the truck, probably lost about $6,000 selling the truck, sold it back to a dealer. But with that being said, I felt like it was the right thing to do. I didn't want to go on trying to make that truck fit my needs if it wasn't going to fit my needs. And I'm not going to get into what was up with it, but obviously I just didn't feel like it was tough enough, end of the story pretty much. Okay, so some of the things I like about this truck, let me go in here, kind of get inside of it, and sorry for the poor quality. So, obviously, I told you, work truck, vinyl. Let's see how many miles I've got here. I want to be exact. 13,505. Okay. I'll go ahead and back up and I'll start with the things I don't like. So, one thing I absolutely despise about the truck is the fact, and obviously it's a diesel, all GM diesels have the ram air intake through the hood. This truck is incredibly difficult to see over the front. I'm driving through herds of cattle all the time, and it's incredibly hard to see over the truck. There's plenty of headroom in this truck. It just seems like the seats could be raised. Obviously, if I had electric seat option in this truck, I might be able to overcome this problem. I'm just specifically saying this is how this affects me for this particular platform in this particular trim level. So that's first and foremost. The second thing I'm going to say is not specifically a dislike, but is a possible dislike, is the engine brake. I will say the previous model that I described that I purchased and then sold, it was more of an on-off option. You turned it on as soon as you let off the accelerator, you were basically braking, under engine brake, so to speak. This one seems more more detailed in a lot of ways. It seems to operate off of, brake pressure. It almost seems to work harder with a heavier load. I don't know really how it would gauge that unless there's input and output sensors on the transmission. I don't know. But anyway, this one seems to be more tuned in. This one seems to be more delicate and operating only under the conditions that you really, really need it. Now, I'll tell you, I have pulled maximum load with this truck, maximum payload, and I never one time felt like I didn't have full control in a braking situation. So I'm not complaining about that, but that specifically is something that's different than the other models that I've driven, non-GM trucks. They seem to be more mechanical. I know they're not mechanical, but I mean, they're just a little more archaic, so to speak, whereas when you turn it on, it's definitely loud. You can hear it. This one, it's not loud. You know it's on, but it's not to the point where you actually can hear and realize that, it's engaging and you're off the accelerator and it's starting to slow down. This one reacts to how much brake. It seems to even almost react to the grade. It's kind of weird, but anyway, those are the only two somewhat complaints I have on the truck. Obviously, the ram air is difficult for me to overcome, just because I can't see. But other than that, I will say these are the only two things that I have complaints about. The truck cab is quiet. It seems to be built well. I had this same truck in a 2014 model. Had no problems. It was probably the lowest cost of ownership I've had of any vehicle in a heavy duty platform, and so I kind of knew what to expect. The suspension, the frame, all this kind of stuff is similar on that previous model. So that being said, those are the two things that I really feel like I'd like to change. The things that I like. And the list could go on and on because I'm somewhat used to this type of truck. But first and foremost is this engine transmission combination. I don't know, and I pull heavy loads on a regular basis. And like I said, I've reached max payload capacity on this truck. I don't know that I've ever got to the end of the power range. This truck, in just stock mode, has a tremendous amount of power to me. And I'm only comparing it to the trucks that I've driven. But like I said, I had a same platform truck in a different brand not even 6 months ago. So I have some comparisons there. This truck, it just, I can't say enough about the power range on it. It's just pretty unbelievable. And it should be, for what you pay for these trucks, that in itself should be a given. It should be powerful. It should do what it's supposed to do. Other than that, things that I like the stance of the truck. I'm not a looks guy. I could care less about cool factor. You've just never been able to deposit that in the bank, so I don't give a damn about it. I want something that's going to not cost a lot of money to maintain, and something that is going to not give me problems when I need it, because these trucks that I have, they are put through the ringer on a daily basis. In the winter, this truck will see four-wheel drive every single day. There's not a day that it won't. So that's a very important thing to me, that the four-wheel drive system works and works well. Like I said, I've had a previous version of this truck, so to speak, 5 years older, and I kind of knew what to expect. The suspension is basically the same. I do like the suspension. Obviously, I've had good luck with these trucks and the front suspension. I will tell you this, in my area here, a gravel road would be a step up. Most of the roads have no gravel and just basically pit out, wash out on a regular basis. You're usually waiting 14 to 20 days for the county to get back over it. So these front ends get a workout every single mile you drive down them. I do grease the front end on this truck. I grease the whole truck, every greasable point. About every 5,000 miles, I change the oil at 7,500. This truck will see its second oil change here within the next week probably. So that being said, I don't really know what somebody would find to complain about the truck. But if you use a truck the way I do, off-road and pulling heavy loads, so far I would recommend this truck. Like I said, I can't really fault it anyway. It operates pretty much the way that I expect it to. And, you know, I think that, I don't know, knock on wood, but I feel like I will get, you know, another 3 or 4 years of service. And I usually sell trucks around a couple 100,000 miles. So I look forward to maybe doing a review at maybe a year, maybe with 70 or 80,000 miles. But up until this point, this thing has performed beautifully. It gets about the same mileage as every other diesel truck that I've had and that I've got. I mean, pretty much they're all the same. I mean, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Ford, GM, Dodge, whatever. You know, they're within a few miles, depending on how you drive them. You know, they're all going to be about the same. This truck has about 1,200 pounds added, taken into the exception of, I think the pickup box on these weighs about 365 pounds-ish, I believe. Maybe a little more, I can't remember. But this bed here is 1,600 pounds. So taking that into effect, I'm carrying a load all the time, and I realize that. Adding that bed, I only drove the truck about 2 weeks without it. Adding the bed affected the mileage about 3 miles a gallon on the highway, which is to be expected. Every time I've done this particular type of platform, in other makes even, that's about what it does. So you can expect to cost yourself about 3 miles a gallon, which I don't have an option. I have to have it. I will do a review of this bed. This is the first time I've ever had this type of bed. This is a Crown Line skirted spike bed. And I will do a review of that at some point here pretty quick as well. Anyway, hopefully this helps y'all. You know, helps you make a decision in the truck that you buy, and hopefully I haven't led you astray. Thanks.